Alrighty. The problem we're running into today is friend brought me over this arm for his weed whacker. It's a cheap Chinese type, and the problem he's coming up with is that he'll tighten it up, and after a little while he loses the blade because the washer was popping out, and as you can see, this washer is getting rounded over and the blades wouldn't spin properly like they should. Here's one of the blades. I've already cleaned it up, but this bushing that goes in here was the welded broken, so I cleaned it up. I'll get to weld it back on. But something I've noticed here is that when you put the blade on, when it's flat up against this part, and as you can see, that's thinner. They didn't, when they welded this, they didn't get these two, the bottom side and the top side, they're not flat. So it's closer here than it is here, and they had to put a filler material in. And what that's causing is kind of a ramp. And that ramp on this edge, where when I put the washer on, it's fine. There's a bit of a tolerance, so the blade would be able to turn when it's tightened down properly. But on this side, over here on this edge, the bushing is below the surface of the blade. So when you tighten it down, the nut, there's going to be a washer on there, but the washer would be pinching the blade instead of the bushing, and then the blade can't move properly, and it's going to, when it does finally work its way out, it's because it probably ate up the washer or bent the washer. So what I'm going to do is, there's a couple of ways I'm thinking about I could fix this. One would be to weld onto this edge of the bushing to bring it out so that it's parallel to this face, but then the whole axis of the bolt is off too. So I think what I'm going to do before I weld this on here is I'm going to come and grind down this so that we have the proper, it's the same thickness all the way across. And I mean, I guess I could weld out and bring this surface back flush, but then I don't have enough bushing. That's, going to simulate or replicate the issue that we have on this side. So I want this much thickness here, and when I measured that earlier, I'm just putting the flat washer there so I've got something to check the depth against. Okay, on that side, from this surface to the top side is 712, and then on this other side we're 760. So I need to bring this down about 60 thousandths, 50 something thousandths to get this flat again. Let me just check that one more time, because that doesn't seem right. Okay, yeah, that's more like it. That makes more sense. This side is 785. So there's 80 thousandths basically difference between one side and the other. Double check that. Yeah, oh, that's 100 thousandths, because this side, when I'm a little more careful on my measurement, that's right at 7, 68, 7. So it's right at 7, so we're 80 thousandths difference. One more time, because it keeps changing here. What am I doing differently? There we go. Okay, yeah. So we're 75 thousandths difference from one edge to the other of that hole, and this blade is only let's see, what do we got here? The blade is 280. So 280 And what did I say? I had 7 on the good side here. On the good side, I've got, let's call it 670. Let's just call it 700. So I've got 700 on the good side. So 700 plus the 280, that's 7, 8, 9, 80. So measure there, so am I in the camera? So I've got 160. So I should have plenty. Just check it this way, I guess. All right, yeah, that's 370. So the blade's 280 and I got 370. So I've got about 100 thou of tolerance for that blade to be able to spin once it's all tightened down, because that blade's going to go on there. There's going to be a washer over the nut, and I've mangled up this nut. So it's got to have enough so that it can move, spin freely once it's tightened up. And that's not going to happen on that one side because there isn't. This one side here, the shallow side, is coming in at 265, so it's just a hair under. So when I tighten up the bolt, the blade's going to be pinched onto that bushing if I was just to weld it right back on where it is. So I've got to take this down and make this more even, make it more parallel, and that's what we're going to do.